Words of advice to my 20-year-old self. I got a comment from a 20-year-old in one of my videos. I think it was the one on affirmations yesterday. And he said, I'm 20 years old. Do you have any advice for me? Or better yet, could you maybe do a video about advice to your 20-year-old self? And I thought, oh my gosh, that is so amazing. Yes, I can do that. So I took a little time and jot down a few notes and sit back, kick back, take a sip of your coffee, relax. And I'm just gonna let some of these rip. So these are my advice to my 20-year-old self. Grace enters life at unexpected times. So many times over the last bunch of years, things have happened just out of just the unexplicable. They just happened. And I didn't ask for it. Wasn't looking for it. It just happened. So be prepared. Like the Boy Scouts say, be prepared. People pleasing and overgiving blocks you from receiving. Man, I tried so hard, to overgive, to people please, because it's a way that I protected myself on the inside. Kept people from looking at the darkness that I felt inside. A way to overperform so nobody could criticize me. Stop trying to control everything. Going with the flow. When I go with the flow, just beautiful results happen. And when I force things to happen, it's almost as if the universe is saying, this is what you asked for, and when I just go with it, something beautiful just magically appears. Forgiveness, letting go of resentments. If you look back at it, you can see that most of this harm that was done to us was really unintentional. Even though it looked like they were done with malicious intent and whatnot, it's unintentional in the way that that's how that person was wired to be. And they come from a long line of generational people that just have low self-esteem and so much self-loathing that they vomit it all over everybody. So it's not really their intention. They just don't know any better. And when I forgive, a little something magical happens that comes back into my heart. Don't let criticism bother you. And that was a hard one for me. When people are critical of me, it's not usually me, it's just them. Just as I was saying, it's an extension of their own self-loathing or miserableness. So I try not to take anything personally. The difficulties you're experiencing are forging you in fire to be an instrument of peace. The difficulties you're experiencing are forging you in fire to make you an instrument of peace. And also knowing that hardship is the pathway to peace. That these difficult situations that come up in our life are the things that put us in the fire, and they make us hardened and strong, and make us the person who we're supposed to be. They awaken us to our purpose. Gratitude is the magnet. The more grateful I am, the more things that just come to me. It's like if I can't be happy with the things that I have now, how can I expect more things to come my way? So gratitude is everything. It's the great magnet. We experience hell on earth, and then we get to experience some heaven. And I forgot to say, you don't have to believe anything that I believe. But I experienced my hell here on earth. I don't think there's any fiery furnaces that we're going to get sent down to. I think we go through it here. And that hell on earth is that fire, that forging, that makes us into who we are. More will be revealed. As we go through life, more things are going to come to us. We'll get greater understanding and more things to learn. We're never always there. There's always something more to learn. So more will be revealed. And that's what makes things exciting. Makes things exciting and fresh. These next two are lessons from my friend Jimmy that I learned on a hike, and Jimmy's passed away. And we were hiking, and we could see I wanted to go up to the peak of the mountain, yet we were going down. I was like, Jimmy, why are we going down? And he goes, sometimes you have to go down in order to find an easier way up. And that's how it is in life. Sometimes we have to have these lows in order to experience new, easier ways to find our highs. And the other part was when we got to the top of the mountain, I just couldn't go any further. And he had taken off. He was at the top of the mountain, and he looked over the rock as I was telling him I had to tap out. And he said, look how far you've come. Don't give up now. So when you think it's time to give up, take a moment, pause, take a deep breath, and look at how far you've come, because that journey you've worked on is just so worthwhile. All fear is based on false beliefs. When I did my shadow work and I looked at my resentments, I looked at the emotions that they brought out of me, I looked at my involvement with those, and I looked at my fears, it really came down to old false beliefs. It boiled down to that I felt unworthy, unlovable, and that I wasn't, that I was entrenched in this lack mentality. And it's just all false. I was born so unworthy. I guess that's the other advice, is that you are worthy. People love you, you have to let them love you. That's that same idea of that receiving mode, is that when we allow people to come into our lives, allow people to offer support and love, it does something to us that we just can't do by ourselves, which brings me to the next one. Community, community, community. Don't go it alone. Don't go it alone. Find people that are of like mind, or of mindset that you'd like to aspire to. And you can find them maybe in a book club, maybe you can find them in church, maybe you can find them at the local yoga studio, maybe you can find them, on the bulletin board at the local metaphysical shop. Maybe there's a community sprouting up there, or maybe it's online. I can't tell you the incredible community that's sprouted up online for me since I've been doing social media. The other part of that, you're never alone. We may feel like that we're alone, but we have this incredible team of spirit guides, our guardian angels, our ancestor guides, our spirit guides, our animal spirit guides, our celestial guides. They're there, but we have free will, and so they're not necessarily going to intercede on your behalf unless you ask them in. So when I started asking in my guides and my team, just beautiful things just started happening for me. Just doors starting opening up, connections, right opportunities came to me, the right people were coming to me. So know that you're never alone. I always got my dad on one shoulder and my brother Danny on the other shoulder. And John Jay is up there too. A sliver of willingness is all it takes to make a change. You don't have to commit to something 100% right off the bat. Just being open-minded and just a little sliver of willingness can create opportunities for you, that you can open the door and find new things that are open to you. Just put your hand on the door handle and the door will open for itself. Notice the patterns. When I was talking about the resentments and the fears, start looking at the people, places, and things that would come up. And although the names are different, the situations are the same, because we're going to keep facing them. A friend of mine wrote this beautiful book about being on the wheel, and it's the same circumstances over and over and over in different faces. And once we learn how to deal with them and recognize those patterns, then we can start spiraling up. And those faces may come up, but they don't baffle us anymore. This one's from my friend Bashar. I don't know if you've seen Daryl Anka, but he talks about joy. Find the joy and pursue it with vigor, and pursue it as far as you can take it until it can't take you any further. And then find another joy and pursue it with vigor. And if we do that, we find purpose and meaning in our life, and we start living a joy-filled life. So joy, J-O-Y. My dog is going nuts on the screen door over here trying to get out. I think that accentuates it. That was a big one. Breathe. Our breath is a gift of the universe. Know that at any time we can slow things down with our breath, and really breathe deep. Breathe deep down into the bottom of our lungs, not just the top of our lungs, and push it all out. Push it all out. And it's like decluttering. It's like making more room for good things to come into our life. So whenever you're feeling fear, doubt, worry, despair, settle into a breathing pattern. And with that, try to practice meditation. Slow things down. Get out of our headspace. And try to get yourself down into your sacral. Okay? And you can really start trusting your intuition. Trust the nudge. Those gentle nudges that you feel are pulling you to something, whether it's something to learn, people to introduce yourself to, just trust it. Maybe it's just something nudge saying, pick up some trash, or maybe it's time to clean the house. Just follow those things. If you can follow those little things, bigger things start coming to you. This is advice I give people all the time about work. Find out what your boss thinks is important, then do it. Don't let your defiant attitude keep you from performing well in your job. There are things that you think might be important, but do the things that your boss thinks important, and that creates opportunities for you to do the things that you think is important too, and the net result is a good thing. And we joke in recovery all the time that we have a new employer, that employer is God. So I need to find out what God thinks important and do it. And I think doing things like this is important, and I'm doing it. Um, let's see, where else have I got here? There's so many on here. I don't want to skip any of them. Expectations. You know, try to stop putting expectations on people, on places or things. You know, just acceptance is the key. You know, just accept the situations that come to you, make the changes that you can. It's the whole serenity prayer thing. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. And further on, that prayer that often doesn't said, says something along the lines of accepting hardship as the pathway to peace, and that we'll be reasonably happy in this world. I did a video the other day about pretty darn good, PDG. We'll be reasonably happy in this world. Unconditional love. Just love. Just love people from where they're at. You know, with discernment, knowing that if something's not good for you or safe for you, let it go. But just love somebody without expectations. Like, I'll love them if they get sober. I'll love them if they, whatever, do the things that I want them to do. Just love them. Just love them. Trust your intuition. Get down into your solar plexus, your sacral, your root. That's like, to me, that's the inner child section down there. Get down there and you'll always be steered in the right direction. Get into nature. Whatever nature is to you, it could be the park where the flowers are growing. It could be the forest, the trees are. It could be the ocean. It could be gardening, getting your hands into your vegetable garden. It could be just sitting along a bridge near flowing water, just somewhere in nature, because so much just gets taken away. That the current of the stream pulls away your worries. The trees take your worries away and fill you with this beautiful, I think it's called cytophins, beautiful healing energy. So get in nature and get grounded. Walk barefoot when you can. Take your shoes off, put your feet on the ground. And you can also get grounded just by setting the intention that I ground myself from my crown chakra all the way down to my root chakra, down into the ground, into Mother Earth. And that helps you. Be present. Speaking of which, be present. Be where your feet are. Too often we spend too much time future tripping or worrying about places that we're not or things that we'd rather be doing. Make the most of where you are. Enjoy where your feet are. Be there. Be present. Especially when you're with other people. Be present. Listen. Listen. Be a better listener. I talk a lot, but sometimes I just need to listen and know that my presence is enough. Live and let live. Stop insisting that people do things your way or that your way is the only way. You know, I did a video about that, about the universal police, you know. Don't worry about it. Like, I can't worry about whether someone's in the wrong lane trying to make a right turn, or that someone didn't empty the dishwasher how I like. You know, there's 22 paths to the tree of life. You know, there's many roads to the same destination. So we just have to need to accept that everybody's on their own path and everyone's finding their own way, you know. And if you can find meaning and purpose in your life, that's a beautiful thing. People are searching their whole life to find meaning and purpose in your life. So these are my recommendations to my 20-year-old self. And it's funny, I got sober when I was 20, and things just started opening up for me slowly, you know, and just enjoying the process and knowing that not every day is going to be hunky-dory. Not everything's just going to be peaches and cream. But know that I can get through anything, you know, especially if I want to break it down like in recovery terms for 24 hours at a time. We can get through just about anything that we want to, you know. So get that positive mental attitude, positive mindset. Tell yourself that you love yourself and believe it and feel it in your heart. Your heart is everything. Get your heart in the right space, heal your heart, and that becomes the magnet and the mirror for your world. I love my 20-year-old self. Dream big, buddy. Great things are going to happen.